Romanian Children's Relief was established about 15 years ago, and there's a branch in Massachusetts, and the RCR headquarters is in Bistrița, Romania, and we were lucky enough to meet the director who went through all the programs, the special needs programs, the literacy program, the placing, not adoption, but placing in foster homes, and getting care and rooms for these kids to be able to play in and develop, because kids really need contact with people in order to develop properly. And there's a website, rcr.org, that has all the information. It has been so valuable. There's a book as well that goes through the formation of RCR and how things were, 20 years ago compared to how they are now. And a big part of that is through RCR and people's support and, the very, very dedicated people that work out there. They were amazing. They are just amazing. We went to Romania for 9 days. We worked with babies, orphan babies. We worked with Romanian Children's Relief, who have programs in place to help the orphans in the hospital and in their special needs placement center. And we did both of that. We went to Bucharest and went to the hospital and worked with the babies. And then we also went to Bistrița, which is in Transylvania, and worked with the special needs children. And we did a lot. We worked with kids. We saw the culture and the lifestyle, and really made it into a great trip for everybody.
It was a lot different than what I thought. I thought it was, you don't really know how much different a country is culturally until you go and experience it. So it was difficult because I didn't really know what to expect. So it was a little scary in that regard, but I was looking forward to it.
And this wasn't a vacation. This was definitely, you were there on a mission.
Yeah. But it was great working with the kids. Like, it didn't even seem like work because you just play with them and just have fun. So
it's really important to get people aware, not only in Romania because there's orphans everywhere, and to realize in these times where the economy is not so good, and this is what's happening to people that don't have a lot of money and can't care for their children, and it's really sad.
I think it was great to go there and be able to call volunteer work when you're just playing with them and holding them and making them smile. And you don't have to go to another country to volunteer, but you can do whatever you want, if it's locally, if it's abroad. Just helping out in any way really makes a difference.
Yeah, it was really fun working with the babies and making bonds with them and just putting smiles on their faces.
Working with the children was more than I had imagined, in such a positive way, because it was just so great to work with them, and we learned some of their personalities and what they like to do and what they like to play with. We got to feed them. If we weren't there, these kids don't come out of their crib all day, and so they need volunteers, they need helpers.
Well, I was scared at first, but then I realized that they were just people, and it's not their fault, but they're just people and have some special needs. But
Lizzie did a blog, and we had lots of pictures, and it was hard. It was really emotional, and some days were very difficult. I mean, we would work with babies in the morning and then with special needs children in the afternoon, and some nights we didn't have dinner, and we were on the train, going back and forth. So it was exhausting physically, as well, and even more emotional and exhausting in an emotional way, because we'd have fun with these babies and just have a nice time with children, which everybody loves to do. And then when we had to put them back in their crib at 5, all of us very somber, leaving that situation, because then that's when the reality of what they really are going through hits you. And they don't have parents, and they don't have their own bed and their own room, and it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, I would write. I would make notes of what we did every day, so if I forgot something, I could put it in later. And then it's online. The URL is romaniansummer2011.blogger.com, and we sent out links to people who had come and helped with our fundraiser and things like that, so that they could read it and pass it on. And yeah, I just kind of put it up there so to get the word out and so people knew what we were doing, because a lot of people knew that we were going to help with children but didn't know exactly what that meant. So
I was scared to go on the trip at first, but I was also looking forward to it because I just felt like I was going to learn a lot, and like my mom told me that it was going to be a really good experience for me, and it was. But it turned out really great, and it was really fun.
it definitely changed my views on a lot of things. I know the first day we went in to the placement center with the kids with disabilities, it was very shocking, and you're kind of taken aback, and you didn't really have any words to describe it, or you didn't know what to say because it was just so shocking and disturbing. But and then the second day we went back, and you kind of start to realize their situation, that they don't have parents and they're disabled, and it's really hard for them. And then we went back the third day, and that day was really great because we noticed that we were starting to get to know their personalities and know who they were, and that even though they're in this situation, that they're still just regular kids.
I felt different when I came back. I felt like I learned a lot from all the experiences that I had.
I would do it again. I definitely would do it again for the babies and for the children. It's a big trip and a big time commitment, but I think it is very well worth it for the family, and especially for Romanian Children's Relief and the kids out there. That's what they need is volunteers. You know, maybe we might go somewhere else as well, you know, and even check out things locally that, you know, there are people who need things in our country as well. So I think it was really good to see, even though we had lived abroad for a long time, we never, when you visit European cities, you know, you go to the cities and do a lot of walking and, you know, go see the big churches and all the big museums and things like that. So this is very, very different. So going and seeing really Romania, Transylvania, and the life is so different there than it is in England or certainly in the U.S. There's so much more opportunity here, and I think that's what breaks my heart for the Romanian kids, because they don't have the opportunities, and that's what we wanted to bring them, you know, hope and smiles, and I think we did that.
Well, there was one baby that was at the placement center. There are a lot of special needs kids there, but he didn't have any special needs. They have some babies there too, but there was one baby that I just really liked, and I just played with him almost the whole time.
It was really hard coming back because you realize what you just did, and while you're there, you're kind of like, okay, like let's go out, let's do this, and then you think about what you just did, and it's really difficult. So the first few days I came back, it was kind of setting in, and I didn't really know what to say. But after that, I realized it was such a positive experience, even though it was hard, because you're helping a lot of people in a way that, you know, doesn't even seem, it's not difficult at all. So that's why I told them that I felt like I was making a difference, even though it wasn't, you know, it was so little for me to have to do. And then,
well, I hope that they get placed in foster care, and some people make more donations and give them like better clothes and like diapers and just stuff and like toys and stuff that they could use.